million pounds, you can put a price which is multiple of this one. If you go for 5 times of this, you will see, okay, what will be the price or value of your business. So step number 1, identification of the market. Okay. And that market, basically, if say you come from an Indian subcontinental background, you can say, all right, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, that is a huge market. And when you look at the figures, the international students coming from the Indian subcontinent, it's a very significant number. So you can draw your student population from this region. Then it's about setting up a company. Here you have to be very careful. Okay. If you go for, say, if you want to name the college as ABC Institution, Institute of Higher Education, it will be difficult. Why? Because the word institute is sensitive. So easier route would be to use the word school or college. So you can say London College of so and so. So it will be very easy for you to register a company with Companies House. Okay. Then finding a suitable campus. This is a requirement. Why? Because the authorities like British Accreditation Council would visit you, and they would like to see that the facilities you have on campus are adequate. Then, because you will be bringing international students to United Kingdom, UK Border Agency has its own requirements. So you must have high quality services and infrastructure for your students. So this is step number 2. And of course, the employment of high quality staff, both academic as well as non-academic staff. This is very, very important. And always go for people who have integrity. Given, as some of you said in the beginning, that the authorities have shut down a number of colleges, it's because of the malpractices in those colleges. So you have to ensure that your business is protected, i.e. you go for people who have very high level of integrity so that they don't do anything which is harmful for your business and hence may have some adverse effect.
So what are the top courses that you can actually offer in an institute? What really goes in the market?
To be on the safe side, commercially viable courses should be offered in the beginning. A number of colleges and institutions I have seen, they start with business schools, i.e. they offer MBA programs, they offer BBA programs. Why? Because these degrees have a greater employability. Okay. So, or IT related. IT is now going down because there's so many people who are into IT, but still, IT related degrees, they are popular as well. Another profession, law related degrees. Okay. All these examples I'm giving, these are either social sciences or liberal arts. This is easier to start qualifications in liberal arts and social sciences because these degrees don't require laboratories and other such infrastructure. Right? So it's always a good idea to start with social sciences, and within social sciences the degrees which have commercial viability. So those colleges and institutions who start with this kind of qualifications stand a better chance of succeeding right from the beginning.
So say I start a college tomorrow, I mean, where am I going to get like lecturers and all the sort of professional?
There are specialized recruitment companies which can help you in identifying and employing right kind of staff, both academic as well as non-academic staff. I must say that there is a shortage of academic staff in United Kingdom, and when you set up an academic institution, the authorities allow you to have a license which makes it possible for you to bring the teachers and professors from outside United Kingdom as well. And in many cases, it proves to be quite cost effective.
Right, so what's the biggest cost in setting up the institute? Is it the lecturers, salaries and stuff like that, or is it the cost of actually hiring campus?
The biggest cost to start with is the fixed cost. Okay, you have to hire a campus. Okay. Or if you want to buy, I don't think it's a good idea to buy the campus right from the beginning. Okay. But you can hire a campus. That is your biggest fixed cost. And of course, then you have to spend money on other infrastructural facilities as well, i.e. there must be a computer lab. Okay. For computer lab, you have to have a facility which is in line with the number of students you would like to bring. If you are targeting only 200 students, then your computer lab should be adequately resourced. If you are targeting 1,000 students, of course, your facilities should have the computers and other things accordingly. But that infrastructural cost, that is actually the second cost. And of course, human resource cost is there. Other costs like electricity and all that kind of things, these are running costs. They are not very different from other types of businesses.
I know you mentioned that you have to focus on commercially viable courses. Now, is there a market for Islamic courses? Or maybe perhaps if I digress slightly, like setting up a madrasa or a religious school? The
demand for religious education in United Kingdom is growing. Okay. But it's primarily coming from the local population. And there is a need for this kind of education. But, Sami, I'm talking about business. This is a program which you have named I Mean Business, right? So when it comes to religious education, it doesn't make a lot of business sense. This is why most of ulama who are running religious educational institutions, they are not running these establishments as businesses. Many of them, they are being run as charities or not-for-profit organizations. That is a very, very different kind of business. Okay. Probably we will have a specialized program on the demand for religious education and of course bringing some reforms in madrasa system. Okay. This is something which is being demanded in a number of countries, and of course Western countries are looking into reforms in madrasa system as well. I would be very happy to have a program on the madrasa educational system in the context of Muslim countries.
But is there a business opportunity to set up Islamic schools in the UK? Or I mean, I've seen quite a few Islamic schools starting to set up, and even in mosques, they're setting up like courses as well, like supplementary education in the weekend and that kind of stuff, and they charge for that. Is there a market for that?
Definitely there is a market, and you have rightly pointed out, but as I said in the beginning, my focus in this program is not on the primary or secondary education. We are focusing in this program on business opportunities in the higher education sector.
Right, excellent. Okay, so why would people look at setting up in institutions when there's so many business opportunities out there? Is it easier to set up in education than other conventional business? Or I know you said something about prestigious opportunities.
I have already alluded to, that's right, Dr. Reason number one, there is need for diversification. Like the Muslim community by and large is doing business in 2-3 sectors, which is good, okay, but there is a need to come out of these 2-3 businesses and adding another one. Education is very prestigious and there is need for this. Once you have set up, for example, you have set up a college today. After 5 years, this college turns into